We're now joined by Joyce Campbell, who's Executive Director of Trenton Area Soup Kitchen. Joyce, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
By the way, as we put up your website throughout the entire segment, because it's so important that we try to be helpful to other not-for-profits, describe the work of your organization.
Sure. The Trenton Area Soup Kitchen, also known by many as TASK, we will be recognizing our 40th anniversary in January. I say recognizing because celebrating hunger is not something that we really want to celebrate an anniversary of. So TASK was founded in 1982, served its first meal January 13th, 1982. And we have always been food first. Our primary mission is to feed the hungry in the Trenton area. But over the years, we realized that people really need more than food to move themselves out of poverty or to create a better quality of life. So we've added an extensive array of programs from high school education, work preparedness, case management. We actually even have an arts program that has been really helpful to our folks in helping them express themselves.
Joyce, as we do this program in the spring of 2021, it'll be repeated a few times. How much worse is the food insecurity problem, crisis in your area?
It definitely has increased in Mercer County. We have seen an increase in requests to us to prepare meals. For the last year, our kitchen has been preparing 600 meals a day for seniors who live in low-income housing, primarily because the senior centers aren't open. They're afraid to go out. We've had requests from other areas, from other shelters, from the COVID Recovery Center in Trenton, so that the demand has been up. We also know that, so we're preparing about 70% more meals here, between 8,000 and 10,000 meals a week. They don't all just stay in Trenton. We have 16 community meal sites, some of which we've added as a result of the pandemic. And we also have partnered with Rise, which is a pantry in Hightstown. They've seen threefold the amount of people. We have done 2 drive-through food distributions with them where we've purchased the food because we have been so blessed by the community that then we fed about 1,200 households each of those 2 times, one in October and one just recently in March, because those folks who are newly hungry, they're actually not coming down to Esher Street in Trenton. They want to go to a pantry, and that's hard enough for them. So we have clearly seen a very large increase in food insecurity.
Joyce, beyond the numbers and how devastating those numbers are, they represent people, human beings, families. Help people understand, as we put up your website, what individuals/families face when they are trying to figure out where their next meal comes from, or would come from, or will come from, or won't come from.
Yeah, this has been an issue that's been around a long time. We have people who choose which bills are they going to pay, which meal are they going to eat. Many parents will feed their children and go hungry themselves, and it doesn't leave them in a very good position. So it's always a lot of, it's choice, but it's not choice that they want to make. And obviously health problems come out as a result of not having enough food and not having good quality food. I think that one of the things that we pride ourselves on is making sure the food is balanced. But it's still very difficult for people in their pride. And it's always been that way, but particularly for people who have never had to use the system as a result of the pandemic, it's really very difficult. But there's choices every day to be made as to how the meager amount of funds they have are going to be used, and food often goes first.
Joyce, the digital divide has exacerbated the situation. How?
We have seen this from the beginning. We've always dealt at TASK knowing there was a digital divide. We have a computer lab. We've brought in people to be able to give free cell phones. But what happened within the pandemic, it was even worse because everyone's like, oh, well, services are still available. Just go on the computer or we'll do a virtual visit. Well, for the people we serve, they don't have those resources. Some of our folks don't even have phones. but certainly not able to just jump on a computer and have a virtual visit with a doctor. It pointed out that divide, and I have to say the pandemic just kind of supercharged all the issues and barriers we see of people living in poverty. However, I have a tremendous staff in our adult education program, have managed to get about 40 of our students learning virtually so that their learning to get their high school equivalency was not interrupted. But that's because we're fortunate to have had a lot of resources to help those folks.
You know, speaking of resources, as a nonprofit production company, we only survive and hopefully thrive because of the support of the corporate community, foundation community, philanthropic community. Same thing is true for you.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I'm very proud to say that 62% of our funds come from individuals. It's incredible. We get a lot of corporation support. We only actually have 2% of our funding from government. And a lot of time people will say to me, oh, that's terrible. But to be honest with you, having private funding means we can really wrap the services around people that they need, that we can help somebody so much better without kind of fitting them into a government program. And that's not to down government programs. And to say we've had the good fortune of having that individual support.
And I'm not uncomfortable saying that there are two entities that support what you do, that support what we do, and that's NJM, New Jersey Manufacturers, and PSEG. You know, corporate citizenship and corporate philanthropy is what it is. And there's lots of need. There's way more need than there happens to be in terms of dollars for support. So I know that you greatly appreciate their support.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, Joyce, I want to thank you,
Okay.
you and your team, for what you do every day. We often say we're proud of what we do as a production company to try to inform people and create greater public awareness, but that pales in comparison to what you and your colleagues do every day. Joyce Campbell from the Trenton Area Soup Kitchen. I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Steve. Have a great day.
You too. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
Think Tank with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by NJM Insurance Group, PSC&G, New Jersey Sharing Network, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Bank of America, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities Clean Energy Program, Summit Health, the New Jersey Education Association, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by NJ Biz.
Hi, I'm Joe Roth. In New Jersey, there are nearly 4,000 residents in need of a life-saving organ transplant, and one person dies every 3 days waiting for this gift of life. One organ and tissue donor can save 8 lives and enhance the lives of over 75 people. You have the power to make a difference and give hope. For information or to become an organ and tissue donor, visit www.njsharingnetwork.org and be sure to talk with your family and friends about this life-saving decision.